Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to be discussing a pair of Ego style type batteries. One is going to be from Vaporlights, which I'm fairly certain is going to be bloody awful. We'll get to that when we go down to CoolBreeze. And the second is going to be a Vision version 2 spinner. Be right back after CoolBreeze. Okay then guys, so as I've said, we're doing a side-by-side comparison of pants gear and grip gear. So, very briefly, before I review a device, I'll make sure I've got a battery fully charged up. Now, as soon as these devices are the battery, I attempted to charge them up prior. Now, because I did this a bit rushed today, I took the charger out of this device, plugged it into my wall plug, which I couldn't find this earlier, plugged into that. That started flashing red, getting very hot, and wouldn't charge that. A proper Vision spinner. Anyway, thankfully I found this, which is a proper Ego charging lead. Correct voltage and amperage. This is, by the way, the specific plug for it. Has the correct output. It is from an e-cig Ego kit. So yeah, if you're going to use a wall plug, make sure it's the correct one, otherwise you'll have an explosion on your hands. So I'm actually reticent immediately off the bat to use this charger. This of course was provided to me from the guys over at Vaporlight, from some sort of sister company that they have. So let's pull open the packaging. Quick look. It doesn't even tell me whether it's a 650, 900 or 1100 milliamp hour battery. I'm going to presume it's a 650. It's got all the usual things of 10-second cut off, 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, charge time 2 to 3 hours, battery life up to 300 recharges, and you know, all the basic refilling of a C4 clearomizer. Now this apparently is their top of the line doobry. Now see what you like about it. That is a clone Ego. It's a copy. So got charge in it. See if I can't pop the top on this. Yeah, it's working free. Because I want to see what's in it. There we go. It is at least a proper battery, which is stuck on something. I think it might be earthed or something to the bottom. Yeah, it was earthed to the bottom. So at least it was a decent Ego. That's still working. I don't know what's on the bottom there. Oh no, no. It wasn't earthed to the bottom because there's no solder in there. So yeah, so that wire, this one here, was floating around, touching the bottom. Glad I didn't use that. So yeah, shit. Charger shit, battery shit, the whole thing's shit. I'll have to safely dispose of that now. It's got C4 out of it. We'll see how that uses up in a second, because I've got also a Aspire aero tank and a glamour ring to use on the Vision Spinner V2. Now I got this from the guys over at CoolBreeze e-cigarettes for the purpose of review. Comes in a nice, I think this packaging is quite nice actually. It's plastic Vision packaging. There's going to be some beeping in a minute because my washing machine has just finished. I like this, same that Kangatech are doing. A scratch off genuine article doobie-doo. So what I'll do later is I will scratch it off and show you how that all works. Open it up, device. I think these boxes, from what I've seen of them, indicate what colour you're going to get. So silver device. Someone on Justvapes said you had a gold one, and you showed it in a gold box. Instructions in colour, I might add. Revision Spinner 2. Dear customer, Spinner 2 has lots of improvements, much more, an upgraded and more stable PCB control head, more comfortable ergonomic spin dial for adjusting the voltage, brand new and upgraded battery cell of 60 mAh power, which makes the Spinner 2 even more powerful, and so on and so forth. All the relevant warnings, all the relevant dimensions, how to turn it on and off, which 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, how to set the voltage, and power indication. Spinner 2 could display 3 colours from the button to indicate the battery usage level. The button displays white, the battery is on, is 60 to 100%. If the button displays blue, it is declaring 30 to 60, and if the button is orange, it is 0 to 30%, which is, I think, pretty freaking cool. You will notice that this one is fully charged because I have charged it. Let's rip it out of there, put that over there. And there it is, there's the device itself. God. Nice spanky V and new shape button. 510 with Ego threading and the new bottom. Okay, let's get a device on it and see what it vapes like. Now, first thing I noticed when using a glam ring, it is in flash, but it's a bigger, thicker battery, so yeah. Right, beeping, jump cut, be right back. Terribly sorry about that. Here we go. Joy's been a house husband and whatnot. You may hear the snuffling of a little lady in the background as well. So just to excuse that, I do apologise. It ranges in voltage from 3.3 all the way up to 4.8. I'll pop it on its lowest settings and I'll click it on. There we go, what colour are we showing? We're showing white. And if memory serves, it goes through all colours. No, it just flashes all colours when you turn it on. Yep. You've got the white there, orange there, and the blue on the bottom, which obviously show it up. Stick the aero tank on. There's a little bit of a gap there, but you can just sort that out by doing that. You can't really see the gap at the bottom too much. And there you go. 3.3. Not a lot of vapour out of that. My aero tank has got a fresh 2.2 head on it. Second voltage is 3.8. A little better. Third voltage is 4.3. See, vapour is again a little better, but my preferred one is of course full voltage of 4.8. A lot better vapour. I'm using 50-50 mix, 12mg pineapple flavoured e-liquid. So let's whip the old aero tank off and use the aforementioned CE4. And interestingly, we use a lanyard. Doesn't go on. Can't use a lanyard with this because the way other egos are designed and the way this is designed. Of course, that is going to go and thread onto this outside part here. Let's see if we can zoom down onto that a little bit. There we go, come back. Yeah, that's designed to thread onto this part here. And normally there'll be a button housing and all that sort of business, and it'll go onto here and like that. Can't use them. So if you're thinking of using a lanyard, you ain't. But it does look quite tidy with the CE4 on. Actually, that looks quite cool. So let's get some liquid into the CE4. And we'll come back in a minute. Okay, so rather than wait 20 minutes for a steep up, as in this juice and this C4, I just cut off and come back. So we are on the 4.8 volt setting. I got a funny feeling this isn't even going to fire actually, and I'm pleasantly surprised it does actually fire. There you go, bring it to the camera, you can hear it. Again, that is the 4.8 volt, so let's drop it right down to 3.3. It's still firing, obviously with just less gusto. Not too bad. Okay, and obviously this is the 3.8. Hmm. 4.3. No, I just turned it down. 4.3. That's a much nicer, warmer vape. And 4.8. A lot better, clearly. Wrong way. Okay, we'll go back out to the face and we will discuss in depth. Right, so we've seen that the Vaporlight Ego was frankly gash. Okay, I'll have put a little note at the bottom during the close up you can, but the actual casing, that earth lead was actually taped to the bottom. Taped. Which is just awful. Now if that's indicative of their stock, then really not the people to buy from it. And then these are the people who are saying that, you know, we're going down the farm route for safety. Anyway, their CE4 actually happened to be quite good. For CE4, I suppose. And of course the Vision Spinner itself is very good. It is of course a rechargeable battery, variable voltage, 3.3 to 4.8. So 3.3, 3.8, 4.3, 4.8. Never quite figured out that sort of gapping in between. It's reliable. Works pretty well. My favourite e-juice at the moment, Cherry B.U.M, is tasting particularly good in it. For a CE4, obviously. To be honest, I can't even remember the last time I used a CE4 because obviously I'm using a Helios Nemesis Chi-U combo most of the time. But I can see me quite happily playing away with that. In somewhere where I couldn't ordinarily just drip on. Like saying driving in a car or just even at a desk as a change from what I'm dripping at that particular time, just something to grab and go. Convenience. Could have been handy if I was when I was moving house, like I used the eye test. Just click and go. So yeah, you know, I'm quite impressed with it. I like the overall design. I do like the spinner bit at the bottom, which is a lot easier to grip, a lot easier to turn, with that crosshatch sort of Phillips head look on the bottom. I like the new button. The new button is very cool. It's like an upside down shield or diamond with the V, which lights up every time you click it, and it's got 3 lights on it that change. White for full charge to 60%, 60% to 30% is orange, and 30% to 0. Blue is 60 to 30%, and 30% to 0 is orange. So it's getting along the same lines as the eye taste. It's got those warning lights to let you know that you're dipping in power. And the colour, I know colour can only really appeals to certain people, but the range of colours is pretty good. I've seen orange ones, yellow ones, gold one, which look quite natty actually, and I've obviously got the silver. With whatever tanks I've put on it, the Aero tank, the Pro tank, the C4 EVODs, they all seem to work quite well. responding to the changes in voltages. And vaping quite well for that level of vape. Obviously it's not going to replace my Helios dripper sub-ohming equipment at any stretch of the term, but that's me, and we're going to have a guest appearance by Dobby Dog. But you know, if you're sort of just getting into that world of variable voltage, it's not a bad start. One negative I will give it, for 3.3 volts, the vape is very, very weak. Let's drop it down, right down. It's very, very weak. It just seems a little lackluster, but once you punch it up a bit, the 3.8, the 4.3 and the 4.8, it does actually start to pick up. A lot better, hell of a lot better. How am I going to score it? Functionality, very simple to use. 5 clicks on. Right, so 5 clicks on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flashy on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flashy off. That's not going to fire now. And there you go, and there you go, all nice and everything. The selection for voltage, very easy, twist the bottom, it's easy to grip. So for example, my mate Derek, you can't grip too well, you know, that should be pretty easy for him to go up and down the voltages. It's got ego threading and 510 threading. You can take a glamour ring, but it can't take a lanyard. Although you can get pouch lanyards now, which have been available for ages. So that's not necessarily a huge issue. Myself, I've got these branded ones from our sponsors, like Crack and E6, that I prefer to use, obviously. Sponsored sort of thing going on, you know. They advertise us, we advertise them. However, on the whole, like I said, if you get a pouch type lanyard, you're going to be fine, totally fine. Hasn't done a pocket test yet, but then I'm not necessarily going to sit on it because I rarely carry my mods in my pocket anyway. I'll carry them in a dedicated bag or a dedicated lanyard. Where do we get them from? Well, this particular one came from CoolBreeze E6. More from them to come in the future. Obviously the link and everything will be here and in the description below. And overall, for a mildly advanced, and I will say mildly advanced, it's not super or singing or dancing, but for a middle of the road, advanced, second generation device, and I do use the term advanced, not loosely but with reservation, it's variable voltage, and it's got the colour changing lights to tell you what level of voltage it's at. Or sorry, capacity even. So on that note, I'm going to say it's pretty decent actually. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for overall use. It's simple, like an ego. It's variable voltage, so you can change the level of your vape. You know, it'll work with most tanks that are commonly available on the market today, if not all of them. I'm certainly going to try anything like a Genesis or a dripper on it. Because I don't think that level of device really belongs on this level of device, if you sort of catch my meaning. So yeah, if you're using C4s, Egos, Aspires, Pro Tanks, Nautiluses, Aerotanks, things of that ilk, Clearomisers, and sort of, you know, like even a Vivinova I think would work on that quite well. Does anybody use Vivinovas anymore? I don't know, I've seen them about. Yeah, that'll work perfectly fine, and you're going to be perfectly happy with it if you're a Generation 2 user. So overall, yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the sort of 8.5, 9 out of 10 mark on that. It's a pretty little thing, I will say that, it's a very pretty little thing. And for its slot in the market, it's niche, good stuff. Before I go, one downside I have thought about, which is a pretty big downside, but it might be vision presuming the level that you're at. That's all the packaging. That's all the packaging. There is no charger included with this particular version. They may do a version that comes with a charger in the future. Who knows? They may already be doing it by now. At this present moment, as I'm recording, I don't know. But what I'm going to do before my usual goodbyes is I'm going to chip off here, bring the camera upstairs to the computer, and we're going to do this whole scratch off business and, you know, confirm it's genuine. I have no doubt it is genuine. But it's a very, very handy thing. It's got a QR code on there and a scratch off. So I presume you can do it from either your smartphone and of course the main website itself. But we will go up and do it via the main website and you know, confirm its authenticity. So we're going to jump cut here. Well, not jump cut, we'll do a nice fade in, fade out sort of businessy thing that I want to do. And I'll meet you up in the man cave. See you in a sec. Right then. As you can see here is the Vision website. Now the website is www.visionezig.com. Again, that will appear along here somewhere, and obviously in the link below. You can see the advert for the Spinner 2 all there in all its lovely gloriness, and we'll just scroll down all the way down to the bottom of the website, and you'll see here is a little label identical to that label. Okay, so I'm just going to scratch that off. And we'll reveal a code once it decides to focus. Now, I'm just going to type this code in. VA 9720352168, and we'll check that code. Authentication code entered. VA 927 does not match database records. Okay. Right then, boys and girls, just to sort of quickly reiterate this whole authentication thing. I know this has gone on quite a long time, so do bear with me. The QR code, my QR reader on my iPhone. Let me just do this from behind the camera so I've got a better idea of what's going on. QR code. Right, it's got it. And it does take you straight to the Vision website. So, sorry about how I'm in front of the camera, turning the monitor screen so I can see what's going on. I'm going to presume it is a genuine article and that the code is iffy. At least the QR code goes straight to Vision, which matches exactly what I've got here. It's exactly the same website. I don't know if you've been able to see that. It's a bit funny for scrolling, but you know, it's whether it actually goes to that particular product. But yeah, it's going to Vision, so I'm going to presume it's the real thing, unless I get told otherwise, because I have contacted customer services about the actual code on the bottom. Whether we get an answer or not is another matter altogether. So it at least works on the QR code reader. I am going to contact CoolBreeze and let them know of my experience, because it's not really fair that I say publicly on a video that the products that they've brought in, it's obviously not their product they've brought in, obviously from a wholesaler, could possibly not be a genuine product. I am going to vouchsafe for the fact that it does work perfectly fine. I've not had any issues, no shorts, no charging problems, it works perfectly fine. and it does seem to be a genuine article. Other than that, it's displaying everything correctly. It's working out correctly. It's absolutely fine. So yeah, don't be put off by that code being wrong. That one is right, at least, and it is saying it is a genuine Kanga product. Okay, once again, Fury79, you're gorgeous. Sorry about such a long review video, and I stand by my original scoring. 9 out of 10, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Peace.